All right, everybody, welcome back to this episode of Top 90. We are here today with our good friend Mark, friend of the show, friend of the family. Welcome.
What's
Thanks
up?
for joining us.
Of course.
My name's Garrett. Got my homie over here.
Oh, me, Rich. I'm Rich.
Oh, yeah,
you.
That's
Rich,
my name.
Rich.
I'm Richie.
Your name is Rich. My name is Mark.
Yes. All right, everybody. So we're going to jump right into it. We got some good stuff to talk about. Let's start off with what wasn't initially anything to write home about. Stanley Cup Finals turned into a absolute must-watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go through it real quick. Panthers go up 3-0. Everybody thinks game over. It's series over, and next thing you know, the Oilers are spanking the freaking Panthers to the tune of an 8-1 win.
Well, even the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the first. That's the first one, right? The 8-1.
The 8-1 win. But it started really at the end of game 3. Because at the end of game 3, even though the Panthers held on to win, the Panthers jumped out early, and the Panthers held on to win.
Yeah, they held on.
They held on to win, and the Oilers scored 2 goals in the third, and the Panthers held on. They won, and they wound up going up 3-0. And the Panthers didn't really have an answer for them in game 4.
Yeah. So, do you think that comeback effort, and the fact that they were this close, that instilled the belief in that group that they could actually maybe hang in there? If we could do this every single period,
Yeah.
you know, we can hang in this thing.
I think in the room they were like, we're starting to hit our stride. We're starting to play our best hockey. Like, we're starting to play like our hockey in this round, because they hit their stride in the first 3 rounds, and they started to hit their stride at the end of game 3, and they just really just hit the fucking pedal.
Yeah.
Game 3,
The game 5 win was huge. Because to be honest, like, Florida did their best. They have great coaching. And what they did to the Rangers, Mika Panarin did nothing.
Yeah.
What they did to the Oilers, first 3 games, McDavid and
Draisaitl. Draisaitl and
they did
Hyman.
nothing.
McDavid had, I think, an assist.
Yeah, Draisaitl didn't have a goal.
Yeah.
Until what? Did he even have a goal?
I don't think he did throughout the whole playoffs.
I don't think
not,
he
not
did
the
in the
playoffs, but
finals,
through the
yeah.
finals. Yeah.
I don't think he finished with one.
No.
So they like to eliminate your best players, and that's a great strategy, and make the other guys beat you.
Yeah.
And that's in all sports too. It's really.
And Barkov did a great job. Barkov was, like Mark said, Barkov had a huge hand in shutting down the Rangers' top players, and then he had a big part in shutting down. And then you can start to see where things also change, because matchups and stuff and the line change and having control over the line changes really started to work into the favor of the Oilers in game 3 and 4, because they were able to move McDavid and those guys away from Barkov's line, and they weren't able to shut him down as much. Yeah,
they relied on they matched him up against Baby Barkov, who had been very good throughout the playoffs, but he wasn't as effective against Edmonton in those later games.
Yeah. But like Marchand and Pasternak did nothing too.
Yeah.
Usually every series.
Yeah.
They just eliminated your 2 best players, basically.
Yeah.
We're gonna eliminate your 2 best players, beat us with your worst, basically, is what they tried to do, and they did.
And they do, and they do it well.
And they're so deep. They're just so deep.
And that's why they're able to, because even if you shut down their other players, even if you shut down their top 2 guys, you still have to shut down the rest of the lineup.
Yeah.
So if you don't have players underneath those guys that can shut down the top guys, then you're not going to be able to shut down the rest of those players anyway. So the depth is what's a big part of it as well.
So McDavid scored 1 goal, or you ended up with 2 in the finals? Because either way, though, 2 or 3 goals combined in 7 games between McDavid and Draisaitl, you're never going to win that series. And they almost did.
And they almost did. Yeah.
People forget about Zach Hyman too. Hyman had a decent last few games. He
scored more goals than both of them, but it's also because of all the tension on them. But Florida focuses on your 2 best 2, and they shut them down.
Yeah.
Mika and Panarin were absent that whole series, and I thought the Rangers performed well. We have Igor, who I think was the best goalie in the playoffs, but it's tough. You shut your 2 best players down. How are you going to win the game?
Right. And the way they closed it out too, they really they played 3 games with almost like not much pressure because they had such a comforting lead, and they didn't do so great with no pressure. Now they're up against the wall. They're going to become one of the first teams in the modern era to lose a 3-game series in the finals, or a 3-0 lead. That's a lot of damn pressure, and they locked it down, man. They responded. They played Florida Panthers hockey, and it's what they'd gotten away from a little bit. It's what Edmonton had forced them to get away from. Yeah. But they were just a focused group in Game 7.
Do you think like Bobrovsky's still on Columbus? He puts up these numbers? I don't think so. I think it's a team effort.
No, I think he goes to
Bobrovsky. He saved Columbus's ass that year.
He's good enough. He's good enough to when you have that team.
Yeah.
They're going to have the same problem the Tampa Bay Lightning had. They can't pay everybody. Like Montour's a free agent. He's gone. They can't afford to pay.
They have a couple guys that are free agents coming up.
There's a few that are.
Is Ekman Larson on a 1 year? Is he getting a
Ekman Larson
free agent?
Is like very underrated, and I always want him in a Ranger. He's
highly skilled. He's just never been a part of the right system, and that's a lot of these guys. I mean, you look at Kulikov. You know, Kulikov started with Florida, and he was very solid when he was a high draft pick, and he was a rock solid defenseman with a little bit of offensive upside. Once he left Florida, he was a journeyman. He got bounced here, there. He never stuck anywhere. He went back to Florida, and you see he was the old Kulikov because it's the system you play in. If you get guys that buy in and you get guys that are solid, and that's what Florida's good at. Yeah. They bring in, like they said, they brought in Kachuk.
Poso,
Sam Bennett. I mean, Sam Reinhart, the guy plays hard. He's not just a sniper. That guy is all over the place. Yeah.
He's going to want to get paid too, and they're in a lot of trouble, though, with cap. I don't think, like, you can't do what the Warriors did where you have the same team forever. You can pay them whatever you want, and you're allowed to. Hockey doesn't work that way. So these guys want to get paid, and they're going to leave.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now that they got that cup on their resume.
Like the Lightning won a couple cups, and
I mean, look at
gone. Like they lost a lot of guys, and that was the core. Goudreau, obviously the Rangers.
Yeah,
they lost a ton of guys.
I literally was just going to say.
It was the core of their teams. They still have Stamkos. They still have Kucherov.
Yeah.
But you lost the guys who made the team whole, basically.
Yeah. Well, they got McDonough back. They realized that was a big piece, and they got him back.
The Rangers definitely could still use him, too.
I think Tampa, from what I've heard, the fans want Duclair back. They're not so keen on taking Dumba back. That's
Dumba's in Tampa.
He was a deadline acquisition to bolster the blue line, and he played all right, but
okay.
I don't know what kind of contract they're going to be willing to give him, and I think his agent's probably going to still want
he's going to want a lot of money.
Yeah, just because of the market.
I thought about that before this podcast, though. As a Ranger fan, I'm happy the Florida won. Do you guys root for Carolina after they beat you? I kind of want the team that beat me to win the title.
Traditionally,
yes. If it's the Devils, I hate the Devils.
Exactly, and that's how Islander fans feel about the Hurricanes.
Yeah,
I don't want the Hurricanes to have any fucking success.
And what if the Leafs play the Hurricanes?
And we beat the Hurricane a couple times. I'm like, if they beat us somehow, like, I'd want them to win. I'm never rooting for the Devils. I don't have no hate on the Islanders. Yeah. As born and raised Long Islander, I've been to games of the Coliseum. I don't have no hate on the Islanders, but honestly, the Devils, no way. Like last year, the Rangers got bounced in the first round by the Devils. No way I wanted them to win.
Yeah.
But it's like Florida, there's no hate there. It's just like I want them to win because they beat us. We lost to the best. And the Rangers had a great year.
And they did build it. Like they went through, like they went through, I guess, like all the progressions. Like you remember when, and not to go fall back on the Islanders, but you remember when the Islanders were like, all right, we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and we got to Game 6. All right, we made it to the Eastern Conference, we got to Game 7. Now we're going to progress to the Stanley Cup. And it's like it's usually not a natural progression like that.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But like the Panthers went on, like, through the last 3 years, they went on President's Trophy. They were President's Trophy winner
last year, yeah.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, President's Trophy winner.
Yeah.
Then the last year they sneak in as the 8th seed, go on a miraculous run, and they're like learning. And if you listen to what Paul Maurice said during the presser, he said two things that really were like, this is why this group of guys will run through, and anybody that plays for him will run through fucking walls for him.
He's
he
a
said,
great coach.
He's the one thing that he said was that he brought up Racco Gudis and he brought up the Cole brothers, and he's like, those three, even though they're not here, are as just as big a part of this win as the group that is on the ice right now. And he's paying respect to like how much that run last year had a huge impact in making them and allowing them to get to this point. And like just in that moment, and still being able to like bring up players that weren't there, and that like almost like, I wish they were here to enjoy this with us.
Yeah, Gudis was another guy.
You know,
he was going to get paid, so he signed in Anaheim, right?
Yeah. And then the other thing that he said that was like, this guy gets it, was he said, you know, last year we got the one win, and you know, like we were learning how to do it. He's like, this year we had to win 3 and then lose 3 before we can learn to win that 4th. And it's showing that he's understanding that it's a progression, and that it is like they're learning along the way. And even if you are in Game 7, like it's something you can take into all of life. Even if you're in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, you're still learning how to get to that pinnacle because you haven't reached it yet.
Yeah,
you know,
they've never won a title,
and because they haven't won the cup, they're still learning. Even if it's Game 7, they're still learning. So it doesn't matter. Always learn. You're always learning. You know what I'm saying? And that's
honestly, how many people on that team have won a cup? There's probably a couple, I'm sure.
On Florida?
Yeah. But Poso never won, definitely.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Tarasenko.
guy.
Sanko won it.
Yeah, you're right.
Tarasenko,
He won in St. Louis.
He won in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Reinhardt never won one.
No.
Bennett, no, because he played in Calgary.
No, he didn't win one. Kachuk didn't win one because he was
right. This is interesting. I'd have to look at the list of players.
I
can't.
was always a fan of Barclay Goodrow, and we'll bring that up if you want to now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he absolutely got screwed.
Oh, he got hosed, and I wouldn't be surprised.
He would turn down a trade to the Sharks, but the Rangers and the Sharks kind of had a handshake. Like, you'll take his contract, we'll waive him for you.
Yeah.
So he's very upset, and I don't blame him. But the Rangers couldn't afford to pay almost $4 million to a fourth line winger. His experience is huge. He could be on a winning team for sure, but was kind of, they did him dirty with that. I feel bad.
I have a theory, and I agree with you, but they could pay him $4 million if some of these other guys weren't making so much fucking money.
Exactly.
So like that's kind of a team thing. That's a team issue. That's maybe. Like a guy like Stamkos would take less money. A guy like Crosby, even, who pains me to say, but he took less money to stay with Pittsburgh last contract. So like
Tom Brady, I mean, it's
man.
It's hard.
Depends. If you want to win, that's what you do.
The Rangers can't let Lafreniere go, and he's gonna get paid, and he has to. And
I
you
can't
have to make tough decisions. I can't believe how he came back.
The strides, bro.
I was about to give up on him.
No, the strides he made. Holy shit!
I was gonna give up on him. I'm like, trade him to whatever you can get, but he had an amazing season.
He's going to score 30.
They brought him along the right way.
So much on his plate. He's I'm the next Crosby. He scored 70 goals.
I know
in juniors.
Then that doesn't. But everyone knows that doesn't always translate.
Of course.
In the beginning, we know this because we got to enjoy Laviolette when he was coming into the league.
Yeah, he was great.
Laviolette is a phenomenal coach. He gets the best out of his players. He gets the best out of young players. He knows how to work players. He knows he's a great hockey mind. And Vigneault did not trust him at all.
No.
They fucking buried him on the third, fourth line. They didn't give him the power play time. He didn't get top dog minutes.
He had no chance to unlock his potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And I remember listening to an interview with Laviolette in the offseason last year, before this last season started. And he was saying that Lafreniere is going to get minutes. He's going to get time on the top line. And they were asking, well, what's that do for your normal top line guys? how does he break the top 6, considering you already have pretty much a top 6 filled? He's like, it doesn't matter. He's getting time. Until he shows that he can't be there, he's getting the time. And he gave him that faith, and he gave him the fucking trust, and he's like, go get him. Go play with fucking. I guess he was playing for a while.
I don't know how David.
He was top 6, like at least the last half of the year. He was there with
he was
Trocheck and
Zibanejad. Was he with Kreider?
No, with Panarin.
Yeah, Panarin and Trocheck.
It was
And
Zibanejad,
Kreider
Kreider, and
all year.
Roslovic at the end, but it was who was on the wing with those guys?
Oh, fucking what's his name before he got hurt? Blake Wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blake Wheeler. What a waste of money. I mean, he got
$800,000.
You couldn't go wrong there.
That was
They shouldn't even have signed him though. He had nothing left in the tank. And
It's worth it. It's worth a gamble.
For one
It was
game
worth
was
a gamble.
Waste, though.
I would have taken that gamble as an.
I would have too.
He came in one game. He's banged up. He hasn't played in months. Why did they activate him for that one game?
Yeah,
for the
man.
playoffs,
That
they
was
shouldn't.
crazy.
And they made a big deal out of it. Oh, Blake Wheeler, he wasn't supposed to be back,
Yeah,
and now he's back. Look at him, like a fucking.
that was a poor coaching decision. But I love Ullett. Good coach for sure.
Yeah.
But David Quinn also definitely was a detriment to Lafreniere.
He
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
That guy.
You get a job instantly too. You get fired from the Rangers. You have a top talented team, like top 5 team in talent in the league, and you underperformed your 2 years there. How do you instantly get a job? That's what I didn't get out of David Quinn. He was great as a college coach. That happens in
It's
NFL
Mike Greer.
too.
Mike Greer doesn't know how to hire people.
Like Nick Saban, Alabama, amazing college coach,
Yeah,
Hall of Famer, but goes to the NFL. It's a disaster.
Yep, and he
It's
wants
a
right back.
different sport. Yeah, it's
Because like a guy like Nick Saban, he's the man on the college campus.
yeah. LSU and Alabama. How many national titles we probably can't count on 2 hands. Like he probably has 7 or 8 at least now, maybe more. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but
That's a lot.
But he goes to the Dolphins, and it was a complete disaster. The personalities are different too. These guys are prima donnas in the NFL.
Yeah.
Let's get real, but it's like it's a different game.
Well, that was the same thing with Spurrier. He's a fucking fantastic
He's-
college
yeah.
coach, and then
And then he
he
went to the Redskins, right?
couldn't do
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
And then he quit and went back to college where he
Yeah.
was good again.
South Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, it's just some guys are better with younger people, and I think that's what you're alluding to. Laviolette is because he got his coaching career start. Obviously, I think most people start lower, but he was coaching in the minors for a while. Wasn't he with Binghamton?
Yeah.
And then then the Islanders hired him, and he had success. And then literally everywhere he went after that, he had success at least in the beginning. But that's a common trend. You can't really.
You're not gonna. It's hard to sustain.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
because everybody
very
adapts.
few guys that have spent a long time somewhere.
Because especially in a cap league,
Mhm.
teams adapt. Players get as the teams get more success. Obviously, the players are on the team are having success, and then their value grows. And then they, especially if you win a cup.
Florida, it's gonna be very difficult to bring that to be back next year. I think Florida is if you look up the odds to win the Stanley Cup next year, I wanted to bring that up too. The Devils are like the 4th favorite to win. I know they got Markstrom.
That means
Markstrom
nothing.
train. I like Markstrom, but I don't think they
not.
should be over the Rangers. They shouldn't be over Boston. They shouldn't be over all these teams. I
No,
like their young team. Jack Hughes is amazing, but to be the 4th favorite to win the title, the Devils, they missed the playoffs this year. I know last year they had a great year, but
I think they're saying that last year there were a lot of injuries. I still don't think. I still don't think they should have.
yeah, they were missing Dougie a lot of the year.
And they definitely should
The
not.
best
fucking
defense.
fire-
Hamilton makes you top 4 team in the league, though. I like Dougie Hamilton.
He provides
very good.
stability and puck possession.
And
Like
I'm not
he's
crazy. Came
good
from
on that blue
Carolina
line.
too, right?
What's up?
He came right from Carolina, Dougie Hamilton.
He was traded for. Where did they sign him?
They got-
I wasn't 4th, but yeah.
They traded what's his name for him?
That looks about accurate.
Wasn't it like Ty Smith or something?
I feel like. Wait, sorry. I missed
Wasn't it like Ty Smith? Oh no, that was John Marino. They traded Ty Smith for. Never mind.
For Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah, Doug. I don't remember how they got Dougie.
Had to be like a bunch of picks at least.
But I don't know if you guys saw how that team played fucking
Couldn't afford
defense
to pay him
last
either.
year. Like their young guys, Nemec and not Ball because he's gone now.
Yeah.
It was Nemec and that other kid, the blue chip defenseman.
Oh,
Luke, not. Well, I mean, Luke Hughes
Luke Hughes,
has
but
showed more promise than anyone on that blue line for a young guy.
He'll be good.
But they had another young guy they had on D, and I remember their defense last year was just atrocious.
it was awful. It was awful.
So, like,
But the
my question
goaltending
is,
wasn't any
The
good
problem is the
either.
goaltending's not helping him.
well, I know I don't think Markstrom,
Is
like, he's
Markstrom
gonna
that
have
good?
similar. No, he honestly, I don't know what the big deal is. Like,
'Cause
he was
it's
a high
like-
pick. He had a good year in Vancouver one year. He's got. Me and Garrett went over this last year. He's got like pretty decent numbers, but like anytime he's been in the playoffs, he just hasn't given you that big save to win games.
Well, when
Like
Calgary was good. What was it, 2 or 3? Was it 2 years ago or was it 3? Time flies. They had Giordano on defense. They had. They still had Kachuk. They still had.
yeah, and the guy couldn't stop me. Like
Jorge
any of them, he
Rodriguez,
didn't.
yeah.
He let up like 5 goals a game on average to Edmonton last year or the year. I think it was
Yeah,
last
just-
year or the year before. Then when they made the playoffs,
They have no front line. They really don't. They lost a lot, Calgary. And I feel like guys underperformed. I could see them being a good team next year, but like
Calgary?
Majapani, it's just a lot of guys.
Yeah, they got-
way underperformed. Majapani had 40 goals the year before. And I would be shocked if he had 20 this year.
I'll be real though. That line with Mangiapane and Coleman was pretty good last year. Anytime
Yeah,
those
they
two were
traded
together,
Coleman too, and they all had like 35 plus goals the year before. It's
I think
insane.
Coleman was in the 20s last year, right, or upwards of 30. I'm pretty sure. But like, yeah, you're right. Mangiapane dropped off. He started to
40
turn up
goals
at the
up.
end of the year,
Yeah.
but he never really caught a hot streak.
know.
But you got to think too. That team. Remember, Dylan Dubé was a very prominent part of there. He was a good 2-way forward. He could play multiple positions, and I wasn't he. He was a part of that.
It's just
World
odd they
Juniors
weren't a
thing,
playoff
right?
Team last year. That team was so good the year before. How did they just drop off that far?
Yeah,
And
they
Markstrom just
poor management, bro. Poor management. It's
Wow. And that happened
Oh,
2
shit.
hours ago.
2 hours ago,
Majapani
you
got
just said
traded
his
to the
name.
Capitals.
Majapane traded to the Capitals.
That's
to the
crazy.
Capitals.
Yeah, they're
For
blowing
who?
That up.
Second round pick.
That's crazy. They blew that whole team up.
Capitals are buying.
Capitals are buyers. Who they just picked up?
They just
I
got
saw that earlier.
Pierre-Luc
oh yeah, Pierre-Luc Dubois
Dubois
from the Kings.
for Kemper because they feel like Charlie Lindgren's their guy.
I read that yesterday. The Capitals are going all in, and clearly they are.
Yeah, because I think they think this year
Because Ovi's almost done.
Ovi's gonna push
Go for it.
Ovi's gonna try and get the fucking the record this year. They figure they surround him with some good players because last year
Get him
he
the
was
record for
so
sure.
get him the record. Maybe he fucking goes for a cup, and he goes out on top.
Yeah, let him go for it.
But I think what's he
It's just funny because like
40
the Capitals.
goals behind
Who?
Ovechkin?
Yeah, he needs 2 years. He's not getting it next year. Not a chance. He has to have a monster year at age, what is he, 37, 38? He's not getting it next year.
How many career goals does Alexander Ovechkin have?
He needs
Alex
2, I'm pretty
Ovechkin
sure.
has 853 goals during his NHL career.
853. The record's what? Not 809.
Wait a minute. 890,
2, 891.
894, I think.
Yeah, he's going to play 2 more years, though. He's not getting it next year. Let's get real. He would have to have
How
a
many
stacked
career
team
goals
and
did
it's
Wayne
something.
Gretzky have? Never mind. Thank you.
So all right,
But he's
Let's-
not getting it next year.
Nah.
Long story short. He needs 2 years. He's not scoring 45 goals next year, 43.
Not unless they that's the team's sole purpose is to get him 45
that's-
goals. That's
like
not
No
what they're
one else
doing.
Shoot, just give it to Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan Strom's gonna have like 70 assists.
Yeah.
But that's another good player that they picked up, and they've had a few misses. They whiffed. They acquired Mantha. He didn't work out.
yeah.
And Mantha is just. I think the Rangers, honestly, even though as our captain, Trouba is just way overpaid too. And it's just like,
I think Trouba's
That's-
Trouba needs to go.
Trouba's overrated.
it's way too much money, and he's a tough dude. Like he hits guys. Some of them are cheap shots. I'll admit that.
Yeah,
He'd be
But
a
it's
great hockey player if he wasn't such an idiot.
The Rangers are the one team that will trade their captain though before anybody else. They've traded their captain plenty of times.
Yeah.
Callahan, McDonough, like
Always.
he doesn't fit. I mean, I would trade Trouba.
Yeah, you trade him and you slap that C on fucking Kreider immediately.
Why they didn't give the fucking why
it's wild.
Zibanejad Kreider wasn't given that fucking C in the first place is a complete travesty.
Kreider.
Well, they didn't know if they were keeping Kreider. He was in trade talks like 2 years ago. He was at the deadline.
Rangers weren't so good 2 years ago. They lost to the Devils in the first round, but Kreider is.
I feel like
he is what he is now. He switched his game. He used to be I fly down the ice. I'm faster than everybody else. Let me put it in. But now he just sits in the front of the net and the stick controls it. Insane.
Yeah, he's
scored 40 goals just standing in front of the net.
I've seen him do it so many ways. He does breakaways, like snipes.
He's still quick.
Yeah.
Right? His game now is I sit in front of the net. I'm getting older, but my stick control's insane. I tap that right in.
He's got some hands, man. Some soft hands. It's he's been fun to watch over the years.
Yeah, yes.
And he should have been the captain probably for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Let's get real. Probably over McDonough too back then. He played with McDonough, and he should have been captain.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we just to go over the list real quick of the odds for next year. The Panthers are the favorite to repeat. Then Carolina. Are we ever going to be over Carolina?
I think I can't. Can we be over Carolina?
Well, the Islanders aren't going to beat Carolina.
Are they even
but
going
it's
to be able to afford to keep Gensel? Like, he's going back to Pittsburgh, I think, right?
Probably.
Word on the streets is Vancouver made that move to try to acquire his contract so they could sign him.
Oh.
Because they dumped Mikheyev and Lafferty's contract. I think it was like $5 million in cap space or something like that, or more than that.
Yeah.
So
Carolina being second is wild to me.
Carolina's got to just they got to fucking figure out their goaltending. They got to figure that's really it.
I don't think Frederick Anderson is
Kachekov.
Yeah, he's not.
It's either Kachekov or they need to find someone else.
But I don't think Kachekov's it either.
I think he could be if they leaned on him. Maybe he's still a young guy. Like they never really let him. They like just stick him in there. You've seen what the guy could do. He's freaking unbelievable at times.
But it's in spurts, though. It's in spurts, and it's not. That doesn't win you cups.
He's not Sorokin. He's not Igor. I think his ceiling is like good enough to win a cup, but it's not Vezina winning.
Yeah, I guess time will tell.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
he hasn't shown it yet. You're right. You know,
because there's less Aiden Hills winning the cup than than there are Bobrovskis winning the cup. You know, so like it just you need that guy. You know, and like look, not even like Stuart Skinner wasn't. Nobody thought he was the man, but he came out of fucking nowhere and he played really well. But
he had a good year too, though.
He did have a good year, but he lost his job throughout the playoffs. You know?
Yeah, he got nervous.
I think the best was like Jack Campbell. Yeah, how good was he with Toronto that year?
Yeah.
Guy was unstoppable.
He had a lot of promise, even with the Kings.
Nailed on this guy for Swayman already.
Yeah.
Who did he get traded to? Omar?
Ottawa.
Yeah,
Ottawa.
That's another.
He won the Vezina last year, and you just bailed on him.
They made the right move
for almost nothing. I mean, Swayman's probably better.
Swayman is better, and I'll be real. I thought that last year, even when Allmark won the trophy,
his numbers were insane.
I just thought that Swayman was the steadier guy. Allmark had a sensational year, and even the numbers, the goals saved above whatever, like that was a good number for him. It was like top 3, I think, in the league.
I think he was number 1. I think he was like 1 point. He was under 2 for sure. He had an insane year.
I just think it's such a small sample size. And I feel like it's another one of those, like, you know, things where is that him every year? Or like even Binnington of the year, he came out and the year like rocked it. He hasn't looked the same since that one year.
And
so
that's why Boston did the right thing. They didn't like, let's give Omar a max contract now. Like, give him 5 years for $50 million. He's a great goalie. No, they didn't do that. Boston knows how to run a team.
They have other goalies in their system. They're capable backups. I mean, even guys that could probably step in. So, like, they had the luxury of being able to fetch a first-round pick next year, which could be a low one or it could be a really high one because
Yeah, who knows what Ottawa's going to be?
Yeah, Allmark might not have a good year. He might have this. He might have. It looks like
He was horrible in Buffalo.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and it wasn't even necessarily his fault. But
No,
he's
they
not
have no
getting the
defense.
Bruins defense right now in the Bruins system. He's getting what you saw in Ottawa last year.
Yeah, that
So-
was bad. Ottawa. That's like, oh, you're better. Go to DraftKings. Ottawa's playing. Bet the over.
But then,
Yeah.
have they made it?
Always 5-4? The crazy scores in their games. Their deep.
Have they bro-
terrible.
Have
On
they
paper, they look
have they
good
made
too.
a decision on who's going to be
I like
the,
their offense for sure.
Even their D looks good on paper.
Have they made a decision on who's going to be their coach yet? Because they brought in Martin, right? They brought in Jacques
As an
Martin
interim last year,
as an
right?
interim,
Yeah.
but he's not going to be. But
Guy's like 80 fucking years old.
he's
yeah,
not
but
their
who's going
coach.
to like? They still got to make a decision on because that team was so disorganized. They just looked lost at fucking so many times throughout many games, and like.
Sorry, I'm trying to get another job, a second job,
Yeah,
coach
yeah,
the
yeah.
Senators,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like-
Yeah, this guy knows. This guy knows what's up, and he's already got.
and I got my staff right here.
He's got his
Both of their
assistant.
GM is world. You'd probably be better than them.
But
Paul Giroux definitely got overpaid by them too. They just
Yeah.
wanted that like
they brought in a guy who had
it's
star
a
power.
cup winner, right?
He also leads by example.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
him. You want him to spread the kind of attitude that he brings to the rink every day. His
You
work
can't pay him
ethic
like
and
a
his.
top 10 forward though.
No, you're right.
He's not
You're right.
there anymore. He's
I-
definitely not.
But that team,
But I think
that
we-
team had to though. That's a team that like they were in a position
You
where
have to
they
overpay to
you
get
have
the
to-
guy like that. Yeah.
exactly.
And they thought they were closer to competing than I think they
I
were.
think they did, yeah. Because they're like
They had Tarasenko at the time too.
They-
Remember
Yep.
that? They
Yeah,
signed
they-
and they dumped him to Florida. But
Yeah. Like I said on paper, that team, the offense, Josh Norris, Batherson, like you
Stützle.
go down the list. Stützle, they had Ridley Gregg had a pretty good year.
yes, it's
Tarasenko,
Cock over
Shane
Stützle.
Pinto. He got, if he wasn't suspended for 40 games or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
he came right back, and I think he was like pacing for like another like 30-goal season or whatever. So they have pieces, and then look at their defense. They got Chychrun.
Mhm.
They have Shabbat. They have-
Shabbat is good. He's gonna be a cap casualty. What I've read today.
Oh, really?
Actually, yeah, they can't pay him.
Oh, okay.
Shabbat wants top defenseman money.
And they got Jake Sanderson, who's going to be a Norris winner. I mean, that's a lot of people think that. The guy is sick. He's
Yeah,
just
he's very good.
really very versatile, and just he can do it all. So like they have
The
pieces
salary
in
cap
place.
is very difficult. The Ottawa's set up pretty well.
JBD,
Allmark
Jacob
has to
Bernard
be
Docker.
good, that's all that comes down to. Their goaltending was awful for what? Last 10 years? Like
Yeah.
go to the Ottawa. Who's the last good Ottawa goaltender?
Patrick Lalime.
It's might be more than 10 years. They haven't had.
Ron Tugnut.
Let's see. I'm gonna look it up.
I've been told like the Rangers, like it's the coaching. It's not. We've got very lucky. Went from Richter to Lundqvist to Igor. It's just
And you got
We've
one of
gotten
the
the
best
talent.
coaches. You got
Yeah.
one of the best goalie
it
coaches
is.
in the
it
world.
really is, but I can't be all that. It's like talent plays. Like whether you're coach, if my coach is
Andrew
good or a
Hammond.
baseball pitcher, it's
Right
just-
there.
Oh, the
one.
Hamburglar.
The
Yeah,
Hamburglar.
You are absolutely right.
Craig Anderson too had a good little run.
Dominic Hasek, I guess.
That's Sabres. He says.
No, why did
Was Dominic Hasek on Ottawa?
Yeah,
What, the last year of his career?
a short time.
He definitely wasn't good though. Ottawa, I feel like
Nah.
I've never seen. a
Started
good
in
player.
Chicago. Got traded to Buffalo.
Robin Leonard too.
Made
What
his career
potential
in
that
Buffalo.
guy
Oh,
has.
Ben Bishop. Ben Bishop was another good one in Ottawa.
Bishop was solid,
And then he went to Dallas and got kicked out.
Peter
Yes.
Sidorkovich. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, he
Phil-
played, but
Philip Gustafson had a solid.
yeah, he was great with Minnesota.
I
He
feel
was like
they've
a
just, like Ottawa's always some mediocre goaltender. There's no one like stands out.
Patrick Lee.
I feel like the Canadians that were in that spot, like since Carey Price just left, it's like
Remember
their
Damian
goaltending
Rhodes?
is
I do
horrible.
remember him. He was around the same time as another Ottawa goalie, Fred Brathwaite.
Yeah.
Damian Rhodes. I have no idea who that is.
He played for the Islanders for a
Yeah, he
short
did.
time.
Yes, he did.
That's why you guys know him. I don't. 1999.
Yeah, Damian Rhodes. Terrible. He was playing around the same time as Zach Bjork, who is also he's the brother of Sebastian Bach of Skid Row.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Patrick Long.
Zach Bjork. Remember Zach Bjork? Tampa. He was like a third string goalie, and he actually played a little bit.
They had Dreiger too.
I was at a game
He went
Zach
from
Bjork
Ottawa
played.
to Florida to Seattle, I guess.
Who?
Dreiger.
Chris Traeger.
Oh, that
Remember
guy.
He was
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Florida. He
Yeah.
started playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
They left him. They left him they left him exposed, and he got picked
Yeah.
by Seattle, right?
Yeah.
You know what's a bet to make? We were looking at the Cup odds before. I know I
Yeah.
got distracted. Utah, right? You can only protect so many guys. How good was Vegas off the bat? Seattle
Well,
until
it's
this
Utah.
year was good.
No,
What's Utah's odds right now?
Well, Utah's not getting.
Oh yeah, we went over this
Yeah.
already. They're not. They're a relocation. They're not a.
It's like an expansion team. I always think about that. Yeah, it's expansion teams. That's worth the bet to win like the Cup,
Right.
Yeah.
because you can only protect so many guys, and it's like they're gonna get good players. You get third liners who never got a shot, and then they go on the first line, and they're awesome. So it's
Bjorkstrom
Bjorn Brooks.
or Bjorkstrand. I mean
Matt
Bjorkstrand.
Murray. He's out of the league now, I assume, right? Matt Murray
Yeah.
for Ottawa. Yeah.
No, wait, hold on. Matt Murray. No, Toronto. He was in Toronto's system last year. He was like hurt most of the year. And then I think they kept him on IR because he sucked so bad and he was making a lot of money. He was making like $4 million a year.
Yeah, he's never was good. It's like a lot of these goalies are just product of the system.
Yeah.
Matt Murray, I knew wasn't a great goalie. He
Right.
won. Did he win 2 cups or was it 1?
He won 2. He
Was
won
2.
2 in Pittsburgh.
But he's not a great goalie. He just had a great team around you. And
Yeah. But I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. But like, he's won 2 cups. So like at the same time, like he can strut his stuff all day. Like we can think what we want. I'm with your
I agree
thinking.
100% with you too.
But he's not a Hall of Famer.
No, not I mean, but like he's won 2 cups.
Sorry, anyone watching who's a Giants fan, but I look at that like Eli Manning.
Mhm.
I don't think that guy was a Hall of Famer. He almost has as many interceptions as touchdowns. The win-loss is the same.
But didn't he
I might
beat
be a
Brady
little-
head to head twice?
He did. which
Yeah,
is
but I don't think he's
awesome,
a Hall.
but
I don't think it makes him
The
a Hall of Famer,
stats don't make you there.
You know what he
It's
is?
like
He's a
one,
New York
2.
Giants Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Not an NFL Hall of Famer.
For
though.
sure.
That I would go with.
Matt Murray too. Retire his number. That's fine.
He'll probably
Pittsburgh's
retire.
that,
I
but-
could see them. I can see that because he was.
I mean, Fleury's better. We
Yeah.
all know that.
Well,
If
wait,
they had Fleury
well,
that
because
whole time,
he
would've
was in.
won.
is Tom Barrasso's number retired?
No,
Then they cannot retire that guy.
no, they're not. I don't think they will. But well, I don't know.
Fleury
Is
is
Tom
better.
Barrasso won 2.
Yeah. Well, did Murray win? Was he the starter for both of those?
He took the starting role mid-season,
Was it from?
or maybe late season.
Or did Fleury get hurt? I feel like Fleury got hurt 1 year.
I just know that he wasn't their goalie, and then he was, and he won the cup.
Yeah, maybe Fleury got hurt. I feel like that. I remember Fleury getting hurt.
Either that or he stole the job. And then they went with Murray over Fleury because they left Fleury unprotected, and they kept Murray.
Yeah.
So they made their mind up. They're like, "This is our guy," and they were wrong.
Talent-wise, too, the Vegas had Fleury and Leonard off the bat. Like,
How satisfying is
crazy.
that, though, with the mistakes the Penguins made in goal? They could have kept an All-Star, like Hall of Fame goalie in Fleury, and they're like, "No, we're gonna settle for Matt Murray." And then and now like they have Tristan Jarry as their guy.
they're done. Yeah,
They fucked
they
up.
literally have no shot at a cup.
Yeah, and they brought back Tristan Jarry.
Yeah, for a lot of money.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
So like, what are you gonna do?
Tristan
Nedeljkovic,
Jarry was good.
Yeah,
their team was good.
Nedeljkovic
he was their better goalie.
was the better goalie
Yeah.
through most of the season.
But see, that goes back to Nedeljkovic was a product of Carolina.
Yes.
And I saw the promise of Nedeljkovic in Carolina. I see that same promise in Kochetkov. I'm telling you. I know he hasn't performed, but you watch next year. Watch
Cup
Kochetkov
winning,
next year.
though?
Well, they got to give him.
They
They got to
enough
give
win
him.
a cup.
We'll see.
I don't
He's young.
think so.
they got to give him the time.
They're
They
gonna
got to
beat
give
the
him.
Rangers?
He's still
They
young.
got to give him the minutes.
They could beat
All right.
the Rangers next year. I
The
don't think
who?
so.
We got to see
The
what the
Canes?
Rangers move still.
Yeah,
Well, let's see what their roster looks like. I'm
They
not
haven't
sure
beat
yet.
The Rangers once. We beat them every year.
He's
They
only
can't.
25 years old, Kachekov.
And I think they're only losing Gensel. They can't really add because they have no cap. They can't even pay Gensel. They literally can't.
What about Pesci?
Gensel wants $10 million a year, which is I would never pay it. I wanted him on the Rangers. I wanted to go for it this year, but I would never re-sign him. $10 million a year,
No
thank
way.
for
No,
Gensel.
you can't commit
But
that
that's
to
what he
anybody. To Gensel, good. Make it and don't win a cup in wherever you sign. I don't know. You're not going to win a cup taking up $10 million of
No.
someone's cap
No,
when you're Jake
definitely
Gensel.
Pittsburgh's actually very dumb if they do that too. They need to rebuild at this point. They should probably
Well, that's
trade
another team that
Crosby.
thinks
It's
that because Malkin's a free agent after this year, and then Crosby will be a free agent. So they're going to be these guys. They're going to start. They got to think that this is their last chance. Like they're going to be going
yeah,
for
you
it.
give
And
$10
then
million a
rebuild
year
mode.
for 5 years against although it's like
Nah, because
then
then
when
that
Crosby and Malkin go, it's like what are you starting with? You have nothing. Then you're
do you
done.
think you think
You
Get
have to
well? How
rebuild.
old is Getzel?
He's youngish, 30.
Yeah, I
Because
think
he's
he was
29,
28 or
30.
29 last year.
You think because he's not going to take a prove it deal, but do you think he goes back to Pittsburgh on a 1 year deal
It's
or a
possible.
2 year deal?
If he's that good friends with Crosby, like
Yeah, if he wants to try to get Crosby and Malkin, he's 29 years old. He's going to be 30 when the season
but
starts.
then he's gonna want like 5 for 50. He's gonna want a max. Like,
I mean, a bridge deal at this age doesn't make much sense.
no,
He's going to
He's
want to
got
get paid.
now.
He's going to
I
want to
could
get paid, but
I could see him go to like the Utah team or something like that. Just way overpays. Like we gotta.
I could
start
see that.
winning now.
I could see Utah going in there and trying to
Mhm.
make a splash, having
maybe like 5
Yeah.
for 60, give him $12 million a year, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's going to
Is
go
that-
for max term. In
that
this
owner's
deal.
got money. He's
Yeah.
gonna want to fucking make a splash. You know he's gonna go after one of these big fucking free agents.
Absolutely.
He's not gonna
That
go
team is
into.
gonna sign.
He
one.
has to because he can't go into this season with pretty much what amounted to. I mean, look.
They have a couple of good players.
They have some good players. They do have good players, but they started out really strong and then they just kind of hit their fucking wall. And I don't know if it was just the shitty amenities playing in the college arena or whatever it was, but you have this brand new stadium that he's going to make a splash. So
You have to.
leading into
Yeah.
that, they have some. We're going to get into some of the draft picks, and then I'm not some of the draft picks. We'll talk draft next time.
Free agents.
We're going to get into some of the free agents because it's starting to get late, and we're all old men.
Are you
Oh,
talking
no,
about the
wow,
free
that's-
agents Carolina's got coming up?
Well,
In
just-
general,
just
no.
Oh, in general? Okay.
So these are the top free agents on the market: Sam Reiner,
He's
Not
unrestricted.
going anywhere. And that's
Jake
their biggest
Edsel,
problem.
Brandon Montour,
He's gone too.
Elias Lindholm,
Good player.
Steve Stamkos,
He's not leaving.
Jonathan Marchessault,
Mm,
I don't think he's leaving either, right?
Matt
Marchessault.
Duchene,
you never know.
Brett Pesci,
Yeah, Pesci. That's what I was going to ask about him. They
Tebow-
signed Chatfield.
Teuvo
Carolina.
Teravainen. That's another.
He's very
Carolina
important to
goalie.
them.
Tyler Toffoli, Chandler Stevenson, and last but
Another
not
great
least,
player.
Brandon
Shea.
Shea. That's
Brady.
That's a lot of Carolina right there. You think you
Yeah.
name 4 Carolina players
That's
out of
what
that
I'm saying.
10?
Florida and Carolina are in trouble. Florida can't pay Montour and Reinhardt. They can't.
Oh, yeah, a bunch of Florida and Carolina. You're right. It's mostly Florida and Carolina.
The
Right.
Rangers are lucky that they have to win now. Igor didn't get paid yet. Lafreniere didn't get paid yet. They have a lot of guys that get. It's basically they gave Mika a 7-year deal. Panarin got paid. They don't have anything else but that.
They signed Kako, right? For 1 year?
1 year for $3 million. They might trade him still. It's not.
All right.
I think it was actually $2.5 million. If I remember.
Yeah, it was 2.5 sounds right.
Yeah. So it's it's tradable asset too if you want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a low
It's
enough
good
number.
Deal. Yeah.
And there'll be a
I
team
think
that
he needs a fresh start. He really does.
I was just gonna say
He
there'll be a team that
doesn't
sees
have
that.
the room to grow in the Rangers. You trade him to Ottawa, Montreal, one of those teams. He can play on the second line, play with someone
Yeah,
good.
Suzuki or
Yeah.
Caulfield. You were talking about it. So wait, who else is free agents? That's it?
That was the top 12 that he
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, in Utah, you're talking about Utah. Like, God, they poor Arizona, because that team is going to be nasty eventually. Like we talked about Keller, we talked about
Kids on Arizona are sick.
that other kid, stud, Gunther, Dylan Gunther.
Yeah.
And
they have a lot. They have a
a lot of good young players.
What's that kid that was tearing it up for a little? Not for a little bit, for most of all season.
He is the kid who played with Gunther.
Who was the kid? Yeah, they had one.
Logan Cooley, obviously.
Yeah, Logan Cooley. That's what I'm talking about.
Shea Weber's
Lawson
the
Krause.
veteran leader.
That kid's fucking great.
Yeah, Lawson Krause. He's like a heart and soul guy over there, and he bangs you important goals.
Nick Schmaltz is a good player.
Schmaltzy, yeah.
Shea Weber really played for them this year?
No, they just owned his contract.
Yeah, okay. I was like, it's Sierra.
Yeah. We joke, dude.
Shea
They're
Weber's like gone, right? No, he's done.
they're the salary dump store.
Yeah, the
Them and the Blackhawks.
Or yeah, there was crap a couple of years ago, Datsuk, right? It was Datsuk.
Datsuk is a Coyote. Yeah.
he was done. Like, he didn't play a game for her. He's like, I'm not playing.
I wonder if
Even Andrew Ladd's a Coyote, I think.
Yeah, Andrew Ladd is a
Yeah.
Coyote. Yeah.
Hate to be biased too, but I don't know if you heard the news. Patrick Kane wants to play
He
the
wants to
final
play.
couple of years with the Rangers.
Wait,
It's
what?
like a handshake agreement. He's going to play the Rangers next year.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
On the Rangers?
Yep. He wants to play his last couple of years with the Rangers. So I might give him like a 3-year, $4 million a year, $3 million a year, something like that. And I'm cool with that. I'd rather have him than Goudreau, honestly. Because I think
Oh, yeah.
it's the same price, though. He's going to take a discount. He's in New York. He wants to be in New York. It's just,
I mean,
he's
he's
a
from,
Buffalo kid.
that's
right?
like Canada, though, isn't it? Pretty
He's a
much.
Buffalo kid.
I know.
And why go to the Sabres? Let's try to win some cups in the Rangers. So Patrick Kane's almost a lock to be a Ranger. So we got rid of Goudreau, so we can afford that.
Got it. Okay. I didn't hear that news. I'm late to that party.
I saw that this morning.
All
I think
right.
It was yesterday that came out.
Well, who published that?
I don't remember where I saw. I think it might have been. Actually, might have saw it on Bleacher Report.
Yeah, I mean they're usually pretty legit. You see something there that's not something that they're pretty serious about their journalism.
Then the guy I work with too, Nick, he wants to come on.
Yeah,
I'll let
we got
him
it,
fourth
yeah.
person sometime. He said what time when I told him I was doing it today. I'm like, I told him 9. He's like, oh, I'm tired, but he'll come on at one point. No,
Yeah,
he
for
knows
sure.
hockey way more than me, and he's a dire Rangers fan, so we'll have 2-2 one day.
That's cool. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and we keep
He
it.
was
We
the
all
one who
keep
told
it.
me that Patrick
you know.
Kane said I'm coming back to the Rangers.
All right.
Yes, sir. I definitely saw that.
Well, I mean, he saw how close they came this year. He likes the direction, apparently. I mean, he wasn't so quick to want to sign with them after the.
I don't think the Rangers really offered him anything though.
I mean, that's
Did they?
probably
Did they offer
possible.
him a contract? I don't know if he's like, I want one more like big contract. I don't know what Detroit gave him, but
Now he was still hurt though with the Rangers. He wasn't like right with the
wasn't gonna
Rangers,
be
right?
ready for the beginning of the year, regardless. Maybe
Yeah.
the Rangers just didn't want to deal with that. But
Maybe.
now he's healthy.
And he looked great last year. Oh, how did he make those guys look on that team? How many important goals did he
Yeah.
score
Oh, yeah, big goal.
or have a part in? Especially last year when they were making that
When they
push.
made that- when they made that
Yeah.
run.
He was on fire.
Yeah. But
You think Taves want to come and
on
retire?
he was also on on the
Yeah, they
Sean DeRuzzi. That's the
Tournament
kid.
playoffs?
That's the kid.
No, they didn't. They were close.
Yeah, so I was
They were
saying
close,
like
yeah.
he didn't get in the playoffs. Like,
They were in a spot for a little while.
yeah, they were.
Yeah, because them falling out is what got the Islanders in.
And the Caps and the Flyers. It was the Flyers and the
Yeah,
and those fuckers falling out to allow the Capitals and the Islanders to jump in.
Yeah. But
Everyone else was making it. There was no doubts for most of the year. Who else was making it?
so, yeah,
And Washington got in because they were on fire. fire. Washington was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
Washington,
team was bad though. They sold at the deadline and somehow got on fire and made
Yeah.
playoffs. I mean, they had no
Ovechkin
chance.
carried him on
Yeah.
his back. Ovechkin,
And they shut. I remember there was that one game that was so important, and they were in Boston, and I think
and
they
won-
kept them to
won
like
it.
6
It was 1-0
shots.
or something like that. They won that game.
insane number.
So like you
Maybe
saw
eight,
that.
yeah.
That's what made me think that the Rangers were going to have a little more trouble with them than they had. But then the
I
Rangers
was a little
walked all
scared.
over them.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I was a little scared just because you don't want to face that hot team going to the playoffs.
And that's think about it.
Yeah.
There's a
There's a
history rivalry between the Rangers and
Yeah.
Caps.
Definitely.
But I mean, we swapped them. We smoked them. But,
Yeah, that was fun.
You don't want to play a red hot team going to the playoffs. You don't in any sport, really.
Gee,
In baseball too. You see like mediocre teams like get to the Diamondbacks were in the World Series last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
dude.
wasn't that
And
good
look
of a
at-
team. They just get hot at the right time.
Yep.
So the Capitals were on fire and the Rangers stopped them in the tracks. But
oh yeah, look at this year. They're getting in the Diamondbacks. They're nothing like they were last year. They went
No.
on a run at the right time.
Looking good. Looking good.
Yeah.
no, let's talk about Bronny James.
Oh,
A
yeah.
waste of a draft pick.
What a fucking
Speaking of anything,
Joke.
he can't be. He's 6'1". LeBron's way taller. It just there's no. It just make LeBron happy.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
He would have left probably if Dallas took him.
He's still
That's
gonna
why-
fucking leave.
If I was
Wait,
Dallas,
who would have left?
LeBron might have.
Left who?
I think Dallas should have traded up, taken Bronny, and LeBron might have followed. He might have, and I think they could win the title. They had Doncic.
So LeBron James is where right now?
Lakers, and they
So-
took his son today.
So
The first father-son in NBA history.
I thought the Knicks took the Bronny James.
No,
Oh.
No, the
Lakers.
Knicks got OG Agabayaga.
no, the Knicks got Bridges. So the Knicks have the 2016 Villanova team. They have
Oh, okay.
4 of the 5 starters on that team, and they won 2 national championships.
Okay, that's
So it's winning
promising.
pedigree. You know what I hate about the NBA today, though, is just they could have traded for Kevin Durant. Is Kevin Durant better than any of the Knicks? Probably. But he's a malcontent. He wants the ball. He wants it.
Yeah.
These are all 4 friends who went to college together for 4 years, won 2 national titles. So the locker room's not going to blow up. That's the last thing you have to worry about.
Mhm.
Are the Celtics better? Probably. But I don't have to worry about any like off the court stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the Suns were sacked. They have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. 3 top 20 players in the league, and they didn't win anything. They lost in the first round. It's just because you don't have that.
Yeah, it's not.
I
It's,
almost rather have the camaraderie than
definitely. That's
talent.
definitely what wins.
in the NBA for sure. Hockey, I'll take the talent. This is a hockey podcast, but sorry,
Yeah.
went on the
That's
rant. about
Hey,
the
you know
Knicks,
what?
but
They go
yeah.
hand in hand sometimes when you're talking about tendencies and stuff like that.
Sure.
You know, it's sports, it's human nature.
And team building. You know, you want to build. You got to have character guys in the locker room. You got to
Yeah.
have glue guys in the locker room. You know, you need that. You can't have all stars. You know, because they want them. You know, whatever it is, they need stars. They need their whatever it is. They need the ball. They need the puck. They need this whatever it is to be the star.
Yeah.
And a lot of them aren't willing to share.
Edmonton got very close though, but you can't use a quarter of your cap on 2 players. I give them credit; they almost won the cup this
Yeah.
year. But if they didn't get to the finals this year, that I think they're getting close. Like we have to trade one of them. What is the salary cap in the NHL?
I think
We'll
next
look
year
it up.
McDavid's
What's the salary cap?
Oh,
in the
damn, this
NHL?
he's worked all day.
what's his,
Okay, your shot.
the salary cap went
Yeah,
up
if you wanna
to
look it up.
89.
Did it really?
89.
Yeah, but you're getting,
From?
It went up $4 million, I think.
Okay.
but now you're giving $30 million to 2 players. Because
Yeah.
Draisaitl, and they both deserve it. McDavid and Draisaitl
Yeah.
both deserve to have top of the line contracts.
Yeah, they're
So,
both guys
now
that have
you-
thrived without the other even in the lineup.
But now you have $60 million to pay for 15 players. That's $4 million on average.
It's tough.
Yeah.
There's so
It's
many
hard.
discount deals you can get with
Yeah.
like Corey Perry's and
They got
shit like that.
Evander Kane cheap because he was almost thrown out of the league for being an idiot.
Right.
And he's a good player.
Yeah.
But and Hyman they got on a steal too. What a year he had. But that's a guy I wouldn't trade for either. If Edmonton wants to cut cap, I wouldn't trade for Hyman. He's coming off a career year. It's just he's going to want to get paid too much. I want to give him $10 million a year.
We'll see. We'll see what that kind of market is. I honestly, there's the argument that people have made. I kind of wanted to go into this, but we won't spend much time on it. That is Zach Hyman a product of being around good players, or is Zach Hyman an elite player? And I think for me, when I look at Zach Hyman, and elite players, like there's times when like your McDavids and your guys are
Draisaitl are elite. That's obvious.
Yeah, so like those guys are elite, and then like Matthews and stuff. I attribute this. I'm going to compare it to someone else who he's much better than I want to say, but like Matt Molson. These guys aren't always. It takes more than just playing with good players. You have to be able to move with these players. You still got to break coverage. You got to get open. You got to find the puck. You got to,
You still got to beat the goalie.
Yeah, I watched Zach. I watched a lot of those things. Like Zach Hyman, whether he was in Toronto or he was in Edmonton, the guy knows where to go. The guy snipes corners. The guy fucking he puts the puck in the net. So like when I see on the online chatter of like, oh, he just plays with good players, it just makes me laugh at the ignorance.
Is he better than Sam Reinhart?
Oh. Like
overall, just hockey player. Who would you rather have? I'm just saying for next year, not even age involved. So we're not gonna worry. One's 25, one's 23. Like, don't even worry about that. Who would you rather have next year?
I'd go with Sam. I'd go with
Sam Reinhart
just because he won a cup.
Well, I mean, come on, the guy scored 57 goals.
Yeah, what did Hyman have?
50. Yeah, I honestly, it's hard to say. I feel like you've seen it more consistently from Hyman, but like Reinhart has gotten better, hasn't he, the last few years?
Yeah.
Like in a similar way.
Would you rather have Panarin or Hyman?
You could say Panarin or almost anyone. I'm going to go with Panarin with like most people because here's the thing about Panarin.
10.5. So it's do you pay Zach Hyman Panarin money?
No.
But that's what he's going to command. And that's unfortunately the decision the Oilers have to make. Do you want to invest? Because McDavid and Draisaitl, forget it. They're getting $15 million a year. They're getting top dollar, and they deserve it.
Yeah.
Well, Panarin's performed. Sorry to cut you. Panarin's performed more consistently at a higher level than Hyman has. And,
over the course of their careers, absolutely. Yeah.
So he controls the ice better.
Oh,
he not many people in the league can do the things Artemi Panarin does. His vision, his just how he can get the puck into the zone, enter, and then pretty much make a play that ends up in the net. He's just special, man. Like he's one of the special few. I'm gonna say.
He got paid 3 years ago, so he's probably better.
Yeah.
But he's gonna want that money, Hyman.
You're right.
Now you're gonna pay half your salary cap to 3 guys. It's just not realistic to win. It's just not.
So. Like that brings me to my next thing, which was kind of related.
We're gotta get out of here.
With Toronto, in 24 hours, the draft is coming, and there's been a lot of talk about someone in the top 3 going at some point. What do you think? And we'll start with Garrett. What do you think the chances are that Toronto looks a lot different tomorrow, or by the end of tomorrow?
So, are you saying in the form of maybe Toronto moves? Because there's no way San Jose is going to trade out of the number 1 pick. Celebrini is going to be.
I'm not saying for that. I'm saying for the purpose of being able to move one of the large contracts that they have to be able to spread out some money a little better. And the name we're talking about is John Tavares.
Well, Tavares is a free agent after this year. Not this season.
So he's the guy they're going to be looking to get rid of.
Yeah.
So they could get something for him.
He's making what, $10 million a year too?
11
million.
11 point fucking 3 or something.
He's up to that.
He's the most dead weight on the team of those 3.
I know, and it's weird because he was like one of the best looking players in last year's playoffs,
which is crazy too because he didn't have a terrible season, but it was kind of overshadowed by the fact that the other guys had great seasons. Mitch Marner had 70 fucking goals or whatever stupid shit that he put up.
It's more the effort I saw from JT. I'd never seen him try that hard.
I was gonna say I'll take Mitch Marner on the Rangers. You could have Kako and some draft picks. I'll take the cap off you.
Mitch Marner's a great
Mitch
player,
Marner's
but he's
amazing.
another entitled
Yeah.
little bitch. No,
Well, like-
I don't
hate
like
to say it,
Because I
in my
think
opinion.
Mitch
I
Marner
think
is
Tavares had like game-winning goals and stuff. I think he was on the like he was near the top of the team, so like he was still like producing in the like clutch because he's clutch.
He would never I'll be real, like Florida Panthers never go for him because he's not
No.
that two-way
No,
gritty
no
guy.
way.
No, he wouldn't be a Panther.
So like that's what most teams should be doing. Like, would
So-
Florida take him? Then I'm not going to take him.
So going back to what we were talking about, and this is the crazy hypothetical, just throwing it out there, but going back to what we were talking about, as far as the Utah team needing to make a splash,
Yeah.
could you see the Utah team kicking tires on a guy like Tavares?
Yes. Because
I don't know.
I don't think that team is run incredibly well. They're in a city like Utah, and what are they? I mean, Tavares would bring some money in at least because
100%.
he's a star player, and I don't necessarily look at him as an elite player, but I'm just saying he's a name, and people
a
like
name.
names.
He's a name. He's a star-powered name, and if you think about it,
Well, first off,
Look
does
what
he have
he's-
a no
look-
trade? Does he have a no trade
Oh.
in that?
That's actually a good
Yeah.
point.
good point.
Might.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
He's not going to Utah.
He's
Hell
not-
no. If he has a no trade.
I can.
Absolutely
Yeah, I
not.
can.
Yeah.
But as a hypothetical, I guess. It's fun.
Yeah. It's fun
But-
as a hypothetical, but
He's yeah. There's no way he would definitely.
Someone's got to go.
Somebody has to go.
absolutely.
Somebody's
It's
gonna.
not Matthews.
It's not going to be
No.
Matthews.
Not if they know it's good for him.
And they just signed Nylander, so he's obviously not.
That's
going.
another guy.
Yeah.
You don't move him. And then so the question is it
It's
Marner or Tavares?
Basically, yeah, they're gonna have to trade one of them. Absolutely, one of them's gone.
I'll be real. I think Marner is
I
the
think
more
Marner
skilled
does.
player, but man, his attitude sucked last year, didn't it? In the playoffs, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that. As a
I
Ranger
think
fan, you
Marner
have enough
does.
skill. You don't want that.
No.
he's so good though.
He's
You
gonna
want a
fuck-
little more grit.
You need
Yeah.
more grit. You guys saw it. You guys.
You know what the Rangers team is missing? Sean
Mikey
Avery.
Esimont. No, I'm just kidding.
Sean Avery is what the Rangers team needs.
Oh God.
What a piece of crap!
Oh,
But
yeah, he was.
What you need?
He's like he lives on this island somewhere. Be knocking down the doors.
He's doing.
Heard you talking shit about me.
But he's doing like some sort of fucking fashion bullshit.
He's
Oh,
always
Sean
got an
Avery,
opinion, that
yeah.
guy, huh?
Sean Avery has his own podcast. I love listening to it. He was
Yeah.
on the Rangers all year, and
He's a
Okay.
jackass. I can't stand
oh, he
him.
is.
Hey,
Absolutely.
Happy.
No,
You suck, you jackass.
Yeah. I don't
you guys have to
dog
admit
many
that
players.
Brodeur thing was funny, waving the stick in front of his eyes. It wasn't against the rules until he
I
did that.
didn't.
Like,
Well, I mean,
come on,
I
that's
was a lot more
hilarious.
of a Ranger hater then, so I was like, no, this guy's scum. This is typical
But
Ranger
it's
stuff.
rules. He was allowed to
But
do it.
I know, but it was the rules. But think about it. No player of the thousands of players to play in the league ever thought, hey, this is a good idea until that jackass.
But it was in the
So they had to
rules,
make
and
I know, but
it's
they made a
broke the
rule
rules.
immediately because they're like, this is like, don't drink
Yeah.
hot coffee while it's hot. You know, you're not supposed to do it, but there's not a
Yeah.
rule.
He's the guy. If he was an Islander, you'd love him too, though. Too. It's like
I mean, yeah, but like
'Cause you
even when
find it
Chris
funny.
Simon hit Hallwig in the head, we knew that was wrong.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you feel for what Avery went through, I guess.
Oh, do I?
Do I?
With the sloppy seconds or what? What are you talking about?
You know,
Dion Phaneuf?
the whole crackhead Avery thing.
I'll be real. Like, you know, there was a time I might have been a little jealous of the man because
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Alicia Cuthbert. I
Alicia
mean,
Cuthbert.
I'm married
Yeah.
now, but it wasn't then.
And Dion is an ugly looking dude. Too.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. What did she see in that guy?
No.
But
She
Probably
has money.
fucking
She's
one of
good
these.
looking. Yeah, it's
Boing.
crazy. Yeah.
All right.
it's the girl
not gonna
next
happen.
door. All right, yeah, we gotta go. Don't
All right.
we?
Yeah, we got to get out of here. So everybody,
Yeah, fun
we will
today,
be
yeah.
back.
This was fucking fun.
How
Yeah.
long was-
Yeah.
Yo, Mark, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you had as much fun as we did. And hopefully you get back on with us. Bring your boy
Yeah,
with
you'll
us.
get back on.
course.
We'll have a little 2-on-2, 2v2 action. And yeah, everybody, thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Until
We're going
next
to
time.
make like hot players and get the puck out of here.
Good night.
Until next time,
Till next time.
be sure to.
Be sure to aim top 90, y'all.
Peace.